Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a true Packers supporter, you know how this offseason has been anything but boring. After that disappointing exit in last year's wildcard round, the Green Bay Packers have been on a mission. They're not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. No, they've been actively reshaping their roster, trying to find ways to elevate this team to the next level. And that's especially true when it comes to their wide receiver core. You see, the Packers, as many of you know, have always prioritized building a versatile and explosive offense. And last year they had a pretty promising group, with Jayden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and Christian Watson leading the charge. These three were expected to be the core of the attack, with some solid veteran support like Dontavian Wicks, Mecole Hardman, and Malik Heath. But, as it often happens in the NFL, injuries have thrown a wrench into those plans right from the start of training camp. Christian Watson, who was expected to be a top target, is still recovering from that torn ACL he suffered last season. We all know how explosive Watson can be when healthy, his speed, his ability to stretch the field, and his knack for making those game-changing plays. But right now, he's still on the mend, and that leaves the Packers in a bit of a bind. Meanwhile, Reed, Doubs, and Wicks have all been battling bumps and bruises, hampering their progress and limiting their availability during practice. It's a tough situation for any team, especially when you're trying to gel as an offense heading into the season. These injuries have basically forced the coaching staff to improvise, to find solutions on the fly. And that's where the front office's decision to bring back Kawaan Baker comes into play. You see, Kawaan Baker is a player many of you might remember from his rookie year back in 2021, when he was drafted in the 7th round by the New Orleans Saints. Since then, he's had quite a journey spending time with the Eagles, Patriots, Raiders, and now, back with the Packers. Baker isn't exactly a household name, but he's a player who knows the system, who can step in and provide some much-needed depth at wide receiver. The Packers, in a smart move, claimed him off waivers from the Raiders, and this isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about having a guy who's familiar with the offense, who can get up to speed quickly and provide some reliable options for Jordan Love when called upon. And speaking of Jordan Love, folks, this is a crucial year for him. After stepping into the starting role last season, Love has the chance to really cement himself as the franchise quarterback. But for that to happen, he needs weapons. He needs guys he can trust to catch the ball, run the right routes, and make plays when it counts. That's why the addition of Baker, even if it's just a short-term solution, is so significant. It's a sign that the Packers are serious about giving Love every opportunity to succeed, especially considering how unpredictable injuries can be at this stage of camp. Now, let's talk a little more about Baker himself. Despite only playing in 2 NFL games during his career, both in 2021 with the Saints, he's shown enough in practice and training camp to catch the coaching staff's attention. His familiarity with the Packers' offense makes him a valuable asset right now. Sure, coming in late to training camp is never ideal, and it's not a guarantee he'll stick around all season. But if he can impress in the upcoming weeks, making some catches, showing his route running, and proving he can be reliable, there's a good chance he'll earn a spot either on the active roster or the practice squad. This move also highlights the ongoing depth issues at wide receiver. The Packers are no strangers to this kind of situation. Injuries have a way of testing your resilience, and right now, the Packers are in a bit of a scramble to keep enough bodies on the field. When you look at the roster, it's clear that the team has invested in young talent, but the reality is that youth can sometimes be inconsistent or prone to setbacks. That's why bringing back a familiar face like Kawaan Baker makes strategic sense. It's about keeping options open, about having someone who understands the system and can step into the fray if needed. But beyond that, this move also speaks to the broader philosophy of the Packers organization. They've always been about smart, calculated moves, building a team that can adapt and overcome adversity. Over the years, we've seen them develop talent through the draft, find diamonds in the rough, and make shrewd roster decisions. This year is no different. They're betting on the idea that Baker, despite his limited NFL experience, has the potential to contribute when called upon. And with the season just around the corner, every game, every snap counts. Now, let's not forget that the NFC North is getting more competitive every year. The Lions, Vikings, and Bears are all making moves to elevate their squads, and the Packers know that they can't afford to fall behind. That's why these roster adjustments, even seemingly minor ones, are so important. They're about gaining an edge, about ensuring that when the season kicks off, Jordan Love has the best possible support around him. The Packers are undoubtedly aiming for another deep playoff run, maybe even a Super Bowl appearance, and putting together a versatile, resilient wide receiver group is a key part of that puzzle. Looking ahead, all eyes will be on Baker and the rest of the receivers in camp. Will he be able to impress enough to secure a spot? Can he help steady the ship while the injured players recover? It's a storyline that's unfolding right now, and it's one that every Packers fan should keep a close watch on. The team's success this season hinges on many factors, but having reliable options at wide receiver is right near the top of the list. Jordan Love's development, the offensive line's protection, and the health of his receivers will determine how far this team can go, and the addition of Kawaan Baker might just be a small but significant piece of that puzzle. And let's not forget, folks, that the Packers have a rich history of overcoming adversity. From the days of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers to recent seasons where injuries and tough schedules tested their resilience, Green Bay has always found a way to bounce back. This year, with a new quarterback at the helm and a roster still finding its rhythm, it's more important than ever to have depth, versatility, and guys who can step up when the moment calls for it. Baker's return, in this context, is a reminder that the Packers are always looking for ways to adapt and improve, even when the chips are down. So, as training camp progresses and we inch closer to the regular season, keep an eye on Kawaan Baker. Watch how he performs in practice, how he fits into the game plan, and whether he can carve out a role in this dynamic offense. The Packers are betting on their ability to develop talent and make strategic moves, and this latest addition is part of that bigger picture. It's about building a team that's ready to face whatever challenges come their way, whether it's injuries, tough opponents, or high-pressure situations. And if Baker can seize this opportunity, it could be a turning point not just for his career, but for the Packers' season as well. In the end, fans, it's all about hope and resilience. The Packers have a vision for this year, and every move they make is aimed at achieving greatness. Whether it's developing young players, bringing back familiar faces, or making shrewd roster decisions, they're doing everything in their power to give Jordan Love and this team the best chance to succeed. The NFC North is watching, the league is watching, and we as dedicated fans are right there with them, cheering every step of the way. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and get ready for a season filled with excitement, surprises, and hopefully, a lot of Green Bay Packers victories. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move to bring back Kawaan Baker? Do you think he can be a difference maker this season? Or are you more focused on how the younger receivers will develop? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and more importantly to the Packers. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. Until then, keep supporting your team, stay passionate, and let's keep the hope alive for another successful season in Titletown. Go Packers!